Good morning.
Hello. Here we are this Friday morning.
Yeah, we are. And
Yeah.
we had this really awesome opportunity today. We got together just now, a few minutes ago, and we were just having a little conversation about what really makes a difference for us.
Yeah.
Right?
And I want to just say, first of all, just to start, is we're in Helen's van. This is
We are.
kind of really fun. I think this might be our new meeting space, is being in Helen's van. We don't even have to hold the camera because it's on a cool little holder. Ooh. So,
We'll change up sides if that's what we keep doing. So
Yeah.
I'm not always on this side, okay?
okay. Yeah, so we were just having this conversation of some of the things that like we're really present to right now in our parenting life.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually stop.
Yeah.
That's what I got this morning. Oh, I keep parenting. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, it really just each day. Here's something new.
There's something.
Yeah, another lemon gets to fly. Here you go, catch. Or get hit in the face. Anyways,
okay.
what we were just talking about is that like some of the things that we are actually dealing with. And I kind of use the word dealing because it's kind of dramatic and it's like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And both of us have teenagers.
Yeah, we do.
And I don't want to paint a picture of teenagers because actually I really, wow, it's an honor actually to witness a human develop through these phases of teenagehood into adulthood. Like it's amazing. And it comes with kind of a whole bag of things that come along with the aging and developing. And one of the things that I'm dealing with in my household, or that's really showing up a lot in my household, are, you know, lots of social dynamics, like as they're going through teenagehood and peers and out of the family and really looking for themselves and their identity. As they're going through that, they're really, you know, their peers are so important to them. Their friendships are so important, and they're kind of looking, this is what my viewpoint is, they're like looking for their identity and where they fit in or who they are in the world up against inside of their friend circles. And in that they deal with a lot. Like in that,
Hands down.
they are really dealing with some big things that really kind of matter to them and really affect and impact them.
Yeah, and it's curious, right? Because that's what it was in my house yesterday. Was I had two kids, and it was really interesting because the one you could see that they were dealing with something, you know, and it was literally watching them walk up the road. I'm like, oh, there's something going on.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you can see it. Like you can literally watch your child they hate that word. Watch my young man come up the street or come into the house or come through the kitchen. And like I can be across the room with my bedroom door open, sitting in my bedroom and looking out into the kitchen. And I can tell in a moment, right by their posture, their hi, that's my youngest, but he's good. Just by their posture of like, wow, something's actually going on over there with them.
Yeah, and it was really interesting for me yesterday because I had one who looked like that, and the other, it was literally by accident. But I was like, I turned and I said, so, like, what drama are you dealing with? And we don't use the word generally drama in our house. And it was really interesting. And they turned around and they said to me, wow, truly, this is what I'm dealing with. And I was like so surprised because on the other hand, I had this kid who looked chipper and happy, But actually, there was a real space for an amazing conversation, right? Where they were really looking at how to be around their friends when friends are upset and when there's stuff going on with their friends. It was really beautiful. But it was just so funny for me. I had the contrast of the two kids. The one who really looked like, oh, and the other one who looked perfectly fine and actually also had like stuff that they were trying to sort out in their social circle. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was really fun, actually.
Yeah. And one thing we were talking about that we want to bring to this conversation is like, you know, there are all kids and you know, teenagers, it might be a little bit more amplified or more noticeable or seeable, but really like, you know, a 2-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old, a 20-year-old, you know, they have a real life. They have their own individual life and their own experiences that they are grappling with and dealing with.
And that's what you just said there is the thing that really resonates, that they have an experience that they're dealing with.
Yeah. That we, like, it's not our experience. So it's like, it's to us, like as a parent for myself, I can quickly, like, if I am not mindful and committed and connected to my commitment, if I am just like not present to that, I can just be in my own world, in my experience. And my experience is like, oh, this is my kid. And, or, oh, that's that snappy, you know, whatever. And I can have a reaction to it. I can, you know, dismiss their experience. I can
I think that's it. Like that somehow, and like you used the word earlier in my listening, but like that we literally don't have their experiences being valid, whatever they're dealing with. And so that's why it is. It's like what my 9-year-old deals with too, right? Is that like, you know, she has relationships. And if I'm not like, if I am dismissive of like her experience of that, like, that's so not what I'm committed to, because I don't want that for me, never mind for my offspring. Right?
Like the impact, like, and like we ourselves know, like if our partner, our sister, our mom, our dad, a friend, you know, doesn't hear our experience as real. We as grown adults with our, you know, all of our tools that we have a reaction, and really it causes distance and pushback, and we don't feel seen, heard, loved. And children, and you know, are even more sensitive to that, in my opinion. Like, you know, if they're not heard and validated for like that they actually have their own life and their own experience, and that they're grappling with things, there can be an impact on them.
Well, and actually, like, I actually want to take it one step further. It's like that for me, like the family is their container, right? And so I'm not trying to be heavy, but the opportunity is like when we actually meet their needs, so that then they actually are secure and grounded, so that if that's met in their family, then they're able to replicate that in the bigger world, right? And I think like where I want to bring it back to is like, it's not like we need to put up with stuff. Right? It's not like we need to put up with stuff, but actually hearing what people are dealing with versus like dismissing it or making it small or unimportant. Like that we actually honor people and their experiences. Right?
Yeah. And what I was sharing, like what I noticed for myself that makes a difference, because I can get very self-absorbed. I can, right? Like, but we get caught. I'm not. It's not just me.
Like we all
of us, right? Like, especially as parents, we have task lists in our head and all these things to do,
and be responsible for one, get done.
Yeah, so we kind of can get into this this motion and wrapped up into all of the stuff we're dealing with. That when I walk past my teenager or my 8-year-old or my 10-year-old, it's like, oh yeah, you know, or, oh, well, wait till you're an adult, or like some comment in my head of snarkiness, just like that separates me actually hearing them for valid.
That's brilliant.
And and what has been making a difference over here where I am, because I've been really I'm really committed that actually I see their experience as valid, that I see them as valid, and their whole world is valid. Not that I might have things to still put in of what's appropriate or not appropriate, might make a difference, but from a place that everything and wherever they're at, it's entirely valid, that like I actually have that word in my head. Like I actually have that set as my intention. So it's like, you know, I've actually written it on my phone as a little note. It's just like, you know, everything in their world that they're dealing with is valid. It's their experience. I cannot say what's valid or not valid for them. That's not my place as a parent or a person to do. You know, your experience as a human being is your experience, and there's and it's entirely your experience. It's the one thing you really own. and you get to experience.
Yeah. So I want to just go
Yeah.
back there. So how did you create that? You had a look at like how you were being, right?
Yeah.
And so then what did you?
Well, I really noticed because, like, again, up against my commitment of them being like my, my one teenage son who's dealing with some things. It's important to me, and he's dealing with stuff, and I want to make a difference. I want to have an impact and be able to support him. And I was really looking, well, what could I best do? What could I best support? And really I can't go in and fix anything. I can't go in and change what he's experiencing. I can't go in and say, oh yeah, no, not that emotion, this emotion. Oh, like this is how you should think about it or should feel about it. And what I saw,
should or shouldn't
yeah,
do,
like, right?
Yeah.
I saw that's where my mind goes to. And so it's like, actually the best gift I can give him and myself for my commitment as a parent is actually just come from the baseline that everything he's experiencing is 100% valid. 100%. All of his emotions, his reactions, his experience, what he thinks about it, what he doesn't think about it, is that I can still offer or that I could support him in. But until it is experienced as valid, there's nothing I can impact. There's nothing I can impact.
Yeah. And what I hear in you creating the valid is actually that connection to your kid's experience, right? Like it's from your commitment, right? And creating valid, you're actually allowing a connection to exist.
Yeah.
Right? You're not cutting off connection, you're creating connection.
Yeah. Well, and everything out of everything I hear after that
Brilliant.
is so different. Like, if I don't have it created as valid and he goes to speak, I want to go either fix, dismiss, move it out of the way, put something in, tell him how to be.
Yeah.
But
Brilliant.
if I have the word valid there, it's like right away, it's like everything is valid. Oh, how is that? I get curious.
You see, that's brilliant.
Right away, I get
then
curious.
That's a completely
Yeah, I
different
ask
space.
questions. And he's left knowing that I'm interested, that he matters, that he's valid, and there's nothing wrong or broken or not right with him. Right? And like, just even me having that, he can sort it all out. I get to be a space for him to speak to.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then he also knows that I'm a space he can speak to and he can bring to, because I'm not going to tell him what to do or how to be or anything. He can actually then come to me and like, this is what I'm dealing with. And I can just be a space. Wow. Like, how is that for you? What is that like? It's like I get transported into his world, and it's like, I'm not with him a lot of the day because, he's
off doing his thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's almost like I get to experience him and who he is in a whole new way.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Like the curiosity actually like allows you to be open to what's there, right? And how it is for him, as opposed to being stuck in that same old thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm really taking on this week. And actually, like, even on our social media here with Committed Parenting, where like the theme of the week I hear to take on is really like the commitment of being honored and heard.
Yeah.
And what becomes available as a parent and for our children and in our family dynamics.
100%.
When everyone, and that actually includes us too, that our experience is valid.
Yeah.
Like our experience as a parent, what we're dealing with is very valid. And coming from that and to see what arises.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's what
down.
we're going to do. And so like, most days, I don't know how many days, I'm not promising anything, but most days over on our social media, look for the commitment of being honored and heard. And that word valid is likely going to come up a lot, because I know that's really making a difference over here where I am.
Yeah. Brilliant. Mine is honor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, thank you. Have
Thank you.
yourselves a wonderful Friday.
Happy Friday.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.